I got to ask you, I know you've been asked 1,000 times, but we got to bring it up. The Thriller dance. It was perfect timing. Poker's exploding. And of all the poker players in the world, there's Bryan Micon with his own little piece of fame, his 15 minutes, if you will. What has that video, what has that moment done for your career?
First of all, it's amazing how many people remember a minute and a half on ESPN 6 years ago, whatever long it is now. And it's a funny story. In 2005, I'm watching the World Series with a buddy named Chris Ebersol, and I tell him, and I'm a total atheist. I don't believe nothing's fate, nothing's predetermined. I don't think I'm a man of science. So, but I tell the kid when I'm 26 years old in 2005, I tell my buddy, while we're watching the World Series, they say, I'm going to be on TV next year on the World Series. We're going to watch me next year on this channel, on this show. And then he looks at me, he's like, you're fucking crazy. By this point, I had been beating online tournaments. I mean, I had made some money. I was doing well. I mean, it was like a really good grind, like, to the point where I quit my job. I'd been doing it for over a year. Like, it was definitely working. So, I tried so hard the summer before. Since I started watching that in 2005, I went on PokerStars. I won every satellite. I played so many satellites. I grinded so hard. I had $30,000 worth of tournaments, the main and $20K worth of side events for the 06 main event, for the 06 World Series. I crushed it. I won like $80,000 going into the main event, and I was just the sick run of a lifetime. I had literally final tabled a 2K no limit 2 weeks before the main event. Sure enough, I find myself like 400-handed. We're in the money. I start to get big chips. I called my buddy Miller. I called a kid named Jason Miller, and I said, what do I do if they put the camera on? And he says, we'll just do a Thriller dance. and this kid is like, he's my best friend. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, I was familiar. I know he gets a kick out of it. So sure enough, like, big hand came up. I shoved the flop. Like, I have a great hand, too, and I wasn't really nervous. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a recreational marijuana user. I think it calms me down in big tournament spots like this. I think I can think through clearly. Now, some people doesn't. Some people, they think it clouds their judgment. Some people play drunk. Why are you going to judge me? But I was smoking weed, and they put the camera on me. I had the nuts. I wanted to do something memorable. My buddy Miller told me to do a Thriller dance, so that's what came out. Sure enough, to this day, I can't get by an Aria daily tournament without somebody being like, Thriller dance.